Okay, let's take a closer look at the ins and outs of the president's guidelines for opening up America again with a member of the administration's Economic Advisory Board, Bill Hagerty, former ambassador to Japan, also running for U.S. Senate. Good to have you with us tonight, Bill.
Shannon, it's great to be with you. Thank you.
Okay, so you saw the precise rollout the president had today with the backing of Drs. Fauci and Birx, Birx explained a little bit more about how this is going to work. The House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, reacting this way tonight. She says the White House's vague and inconsistent document does nothing to make up for the president's failure to listen to the scientists and produce and distribute national rapid testing. And that's been something people have hammered on again and again. We have to have more broad testing. Is that something that has been part of the conversations that you and other business leaders have had with the president?
Shannon, it certainly is part of the conversation. It's part of the rollout plan that the president laid out. I think what you're seeing is a structured approach, a very logical approach that puts the safety of the American people at the forefront. That's always been the president's main concern. But he's also been very clear that we've got to get our economy back and running again. And this program, this really lays out a consistent program that the governors can look to for guidance. It can be modified by the governors. They certainly have the latitude to do that. But this shows a clear aim to get our economy started back again. We've got to get that done. And I applaud the president for his leadership in doing that.
Well, and as a business leader, you know that people have to have confidence if they're going to go back out and spend money. They're going to return to businesses that have been their favorites over the years. Pew Research says this. When it comes to problems the U.S. is facing from the outbreak, this is what their polling finds. Who thinks the worst is still to come? 73%. 26% think the worst is behind us. So how do you convince the American consumer when and if it is safe for them to go back out to places where they spend money, they help reinvigorate the economy, and jobs come back to those who've lost them in the process?
Shannon, you've hit on a very important point, and I think that the program that the president has laid out today, that the governors can look to for guidance, goes a long way toward putting us on a path to reinstore consumer confidence in America. It's going to be critical to get demand back. I was talking with a friend of mine today who had just successfully deployed one of the PP loans. And he's got 350 people on his payroll, so the payroll protection effort on this case is going to be very, very successful. But he's hoping that demand will be there as he makes his way through this. I think that it will be, but we've got to instill confidence in the American public that it's safe to go back out again. What the president is doing is keeping our health and safety at the forefront, but he's laying out a very measured path to get there.
Okay, let's talk about the Paycheck Protection program because it has been a lifeline for millions of people and businesses out there. We've got some stats to show you because the initial tranche of money was $350 billion. We're told that's been exhausted because 1.6 million loans have been approved, nearly 5,000 different lenders. And today the president said he felt like this is actually good news because it means people are able to tap in and get the help they need. And yet now Capitol Hill is stuck. There is a lot of back and forth about another round of 250, whether it should be more, where that money exactly should go. What would you say to our leaders, Democrats and Republicans, who are not getting that done?
Shannon, I say it's very clear. We need this program funded, and we need it funded now. This is one of the reasons that the president has endorsed me for the United States Senate. It's one of the reasons he's tapped me to join the Economic Advisory Board, because he knows I have the strength and the courage to stand up in crises like this and the economic experience to get it done. Our leaders need to realize that this program is desperately needed. The fact that it ran out of cash today demonstrates that. There's a huge demand for the program. We need to keep it going. And every moment that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer continue to play politics and slow this down, putting more American workers out of work, putting more American businesses out of business.
Well, Democrats do control the House. The Republicans control the Senate. In a joint statement between Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, they point the finger back. They say it's time for Republicans to quit the political posturing by proposing bills they know will not pass either chamber and get serious and work with us towards a solution. We're told talks continue at every level and with Secretary Mnuchin as well. How do we get to a solution?
I think the solution was obvious days ago when Leader McConnell put forward a clean bill to just add more dollars to this program that we know is running out of money, that we know is going to be successful. Rather than do that, the Democrats decided to halt it again. You recall what Nancy Pelosi did the first time when we were trying to get the CARES Act passed. She flew back from San Francisco and held it up for 5 days to argue for a laundry list of socialist expectations. I mean, the Kennedy Center, come on, we had to go through this process once already. What we tried to do is simply reload this program, as it was very popular. It's run out of money quickly. The other things that the Democrats are asking for, we can get to, but we don't have to hold the American economy hostage, the American worker hostage in the process.
All right. Well, we know that this is a strange time. It almost doesn't feel like an election year because of everything else that we're dealing with. But we'll watch your campaign as well as many others, and maybe somehow we'll see you out there on the trail. Bill Hagerty,
thank you so much,
thanks for being
Shannon.
with us.
Great to be with you. Thank you.